Most people have no idea what their water system is doing or what it was promised to do. There are thousands of different types of systems that are online or out there in the marketplace, but only a fraction, are truly certified for safety and performance that are out there. If you don't check for a third-party validation of the system that you bought from a nationally recognized not-for-profit like NSF.org, then you could be trusting your family's health and well-being and some of the money that a great water system can save for you, all on a system that is barely working for you. Now, in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a system, and we're going to show you the close-up to a system that is NSF 44 certified. So when we're going to talk today about a whole home system, and the whole home system that we're going to talk about is a water softener, or in EcoWater's case, a refiner. Now, what a very, very strong company or large corporation will do is in order to be able to garner your trust, because there's hundreds of them out there, if not thousands, and what can you do? You got guys knocking on your door, you log online, you see all these different names. It's like, what's someone to do? And so what this video is intended to do is to help you sort through the muck out there and try to actually think to yourself, what could I do as an educated consumer? I look at the industry as three different types of customers. There's cheap, cheap, cheap. That's like the Walmart customer. They're going to go in and they're just going to find the cheapest. They're going to install it. They don't really check anything out. They just want the lowest price. Maybe they'll log online and they'll just buy that. Then there's going to be the average consumer. That's someone who's going to want to do some research, do a little homework, and want to make sure they get their best bang for the dollar. And then there's the most wealthy. They're the ones that know that when they spend the most amount of money, they get the best bang for their buck, high quality, and they can usually feel pretty self-assured that they're going to get a high quality product out of the money that they spend. What I'm going to show you today is how you can do both of these together in one fell swoop. Now, how do you do that? Well, get educated, right? Let's get educated together today. So we have to think about ourselves, okay, well, if there's hundreds or thousands of products online and you have people that are knocking on your door, if you're in a new subdivision, it happens all the time, you gotta, what separates one from another? I'll use an example. The other day, we just hired a new representative. We call them customer happiness managers. And that's why the reason for that is when we install one of these, we want to make sure our customers are happy. Now, what makes the average person happy? Well, I mean, when you buy something and it does what it says it's going to do, right? Is that going to make you happy? That's what makes most people happy. So we want to make sure that our reps, not called sales reps, actually customer happiness managers, that they first find out what you're looking for. Now, out of doing this this company's been around for 50 years. And one of the companies that we sell and service has been over 100 years. What we know is that customers ask for two main things: a product that actually can save their family money, more money than what they invested in, and a system that's going to actually make sure that when we drink the water's safe for our family, and there's no carcinogens attached to that water droplet. If you go to ewg.org, literally, I've done this. I entered every zip code of every client that I could think of. I just sat there one night entering everything from Maine to the southern part of California. I just entered everything on this website. And what ewg.org is, it's a website that culminated using the Freedom of Information Act to pull the water test results from all the different water suppliers in the entire country. And when they did that, what they were able to do is they were able to identify what toxins are in the water and which ones exceeded the EPA standards. That's the government standards, which was sent in 1972, updated in 1984. So they They're able to highlight whether or not there's violations, but then they set their own group of standards. So these doctors and scientists said, you know, these standards are kind of old. Let's update them, like California did. California has updated the EPA standards. They have stricter standards in California that that the water suppliers must meet. Now, why is it there in California? Well, there was a little story called the Erin Brockovich story, where there, thanks to a woman named Erin Brockovich, which was then portrayed by Julia Roberts in a great movie called Erin Brockovich Story. That is by the way, she won her Best Actress Award there. That's an example about how the government had taken a blind eye to that nasty, nasty chemical called hexavalent chromium 6, which, by the way, the government still has not added that to our water supply or anyone else's water supply in the United States to be tested for. Riddle me that. California raised its standard to include it. The EWG says it should be in there, but the rest of the country is like, nah, it's okay. It's unbelievable. Actually, Erin Brockovich, the real person, travels all over the country, and she has a book called Superman's Not Coming. So why did she title that book that way? Well, all of us Americans, we are like cows or horses with the blinders on, and we just want to believe that our water supply is going to be great because we believe that it's a right. Right? We believe it's a right that this water is good for us. We believe that we should get that. We pay for it. Our cities takes our tax dollars, so shouldn't we do that? I mean, it's insanity to think to ourselves that we don't have to do that. I mean, of course we do. We expect our government to give us clean water, or should we? So it's really an important thing for you to say to yourself, is Superman coming? Is the government going to take care of me, or should I take care of myself? And that's why I love the nonprofit called EWG.org. Any consumer, can go to that website, enter your zip code, and you'll find there's toxins in that water. And once you understand the toxins in your water, then you know what you want to get out of your water. See, to me, everything begins with water testing. And I don't care if I get my water supply from a city, like in Lake Forest, I'll use that. Lake Forest, Illinois, we had a client who was like, I just don't trust the government. So they tested their own water supply. And what did they find? An unbelievably high levels of lead. And when they did that, they went to the city, and the city said, well, it's between your city, the water supply that's out under the street, and your home that's probably causing that. And they said, come on, that can't be true. So they did more rigorous testing, and they did find that the city water supplies are put together with lead, old lead solder that was used back in the 70s and even up into the 80s in Chicagoland. But the city wouldn't do anything, so they had to put in a water system inside their home. By the way, there's also a great story about what happened with a woman who was walking through the park of the Chicago Park District, and when she did, her kids complained about how bad the water tested. So she was like, oh my God, this is just crazy. She tasted the water. She called on and she said, something's wrong. She called a local radio station, who then went out and tested the water. And what did they find? Gigantic levels, way over the EPA levels of lead in the water supply. Now, why is that in the water fountains that were at the city of Chicago Park Districts? Well, they ran lead lines through the entire park district. So today, if you walk through Chicago Park Districts, they're like all stuck on. Why are they all turned on and running 24/7? Well, they're done that way because water sitting in plumbing pipes take on the characteristics of the plumbing pipe. But if it travels through it pretty quickly, it doesn't really take on that characteristic. That's why, in my first example, water sitting in the plumbing pipe between the city water supply or under the street and into the home, it takes on the characteristic of the lead pipe that's under the house coming into that client's home. In addition, same thing with with the Park District of Chicago. It was just sitting in those water lines, so as a result, they took on the characteristics of the lead. But as it passes through it quickly, it doesn't get a chance to attach itself to the water droplet, and they met the EPA standards. Crazy, right? I mean, we're talking this. You can't even make this stuff up. The stories that I've actually witnessed over the years, I mean, you can't make this up. It's insanity. And again, it goes back to all of us want to have blinders on. We want to go through our life saying, hey, we deserve this. It's a human right. However, your human right really is the brain you're given. And what I hope to do is teach you today that if you go to the EWG website, you uncover what toxins are in the water. You also get your water with an aesthetic test to see if there's minerals in the water like rock, maybe there's calcium and magnesium in the water, maybe there's iron in the water that's causing your house to have problems. Then a whole home system can actually do you a whole lot of benefits. Now, how do we know a good system is going to take out some of those things? Well, again, what I want to do is I want to highlight that there are basically, when you look at the industry, it's a lot of different companies that assemble. They take products and they put them together that they don't manufacture, and they call it Andrew's water treatment or Drew's water softener, or they come up with a really great name like Aqua this, Aqua that, you know, and it's like, oh, well, I guess I should trust them. And then you have companies like, I don't know, Westinghouse, who buys companies. You know, they bought Hellenbrand, they bought a couple other companies, and then they are still assembled products. I mean, let's take a look at even at a very big name. I mean, in fact, I think my water heater over there is actually made from A.O. Smith. A.O. Smith bought companies all over the country and bundled them together. But they weren't manufacturing companies. They were distributors, or what is also called OEMs, which stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer, OEM. Now, that's basically a glorified distributor in a garage like this, where they take a tank that's like this guy right here, and then they put a distributor in it, they add filter material to it, they screw a valve from another company, and then they bundle it and sell it to Chuck in the Truck, who sells it to you. Now, Chuck in the Truck might take the name that they gave it, or they might actually create a whole new brochure and then put their own name on it and call it, something special. By the way, Angel Water did do that. So we did that at one point. When we bought our products, we would tell our distributor we want an American-made valve, American-made tank, and American-made resin that was NSF-44 certified, so that we knew that the product was going to last a long time, and that NSF-44 certification on that filter material made us trust and feel comfortable in the fact that we knew that radium, which covers, I don't know, a huge portion of America's water supply, because when water sits in the earth, it takes on the characteristic of radium-228 and 226. So, pro tip, if you live in a community that has a lot of radium-222, which means that's a radon gas that gets into the basement of homes and makes the air toxic, most likely that same radium is pushing up through the earth and attaching itself, but in the form of radium-228 and 226, and now that radium is going into your house and you're both inhaling it and or consuming it. It's crazy. And that's a naturally occurring element in the Earth's crust. So what can the government do on something like that? Well, some city governments will soften the water with certified products that take that out, or they'll use reverse osmosis to get the radium off of the water droplet and then send it to your home, but they never can get it completely clean. Why is that? Because pure water running through a plumbing pipe leaches, like that lead story, the lead out of the water, lead out of the pipe and onto the water. And then what happens is the pipe spring leaks because it's been pulling the metals out of the plumbing pipes. So what you'll find, and we found this in just outside of Chicago in a town called Batavia, where they actually had a centralized water system, and the water got too clean, and so we learned from our clients who said these are the things that happen in our city. And you're like, wow, that's crazy. So they literally have to blend bad water with purified water, and then they send it to everybody's house, but they make sure it meets that 1984 standard. Geez, doesn't make a lot of sense, right? And those people are paying extra money for the water supply. And the government, the city, is like, hey, we have this great water system, your tax dollars go to it. But the reality is when you go to test it, you find out there's still toxins in the water. You can still enter that zip code into the EWG website, and you can literally find the toxins that are in their water supply. It's not free of toxins, and they have a reverse osmosis system. It's crazy, right? So again, what I hope to do is inspire you to A, test your water or do research and find out what toxins are in your water and what aesthetic issues like minerals, iron, calcium are in the water, maybe magnesium. And then you want to get yourself a system that's certified. Now, I mentioned NSF, that stands for National Sanitation Foundation. It's a nonprofit where manufacturers like this one here, EcoWater, they'll literally submit their product and pay the $100,000 or more to NSF to test their product, which means NSF throws thousands of gallons of water at it with the toxin or synthetic toxin attached to the water droplet, and then they make sure it takes it out. Pretty simple, right? Now, why don't all manufacturers do that? Because it's expensive. Not only that, but every year you got to pay to update your standard. So that means that the NSF is updating themselves. They'll come out and visit the factory to make sure it's still being manufactured the same way. By the way, EcoWater is ISO 9001 certified. That means that they've documented their factory, the manufacturing process, and they've got it down to a science. And they documented every part of it. So that's why NSF, probably in my book, I'm guessing, that they love to verify that, hey, this manufacturer is still making it exactly the same with the same components year in and year out, week in and week out, compared to an OEM who's hiring Chuck, Tom, Dick, Harry to assemble products, and then hopefully they're what you want. Now, why did I leave from buying a product from an OEM that was using American-made products? Well, that's a great story. Let me quickly tell it to you. One day, I was paying a premium compared to my competitors who are also getting their products from the same distributor or OEM. And one day I go there and I know I'm paying a premium. So I know my costs are much higher than Chuck in the truck, who's one of my competitors. And I show up there and I'm in the back, it's really dirty. And it's, I was like looking at it like, okay, here they are, they have a huge vat hanging from the ceiling and they're opening it up and pouring this filter material inside this vessel. And I see Chinese writing on it. And I'm like, I didn't think much about it because I was in a hurry. They bundle it all together, put it in my van, I take off, and about halfway home I go, what the heck? Ugh! And I had to flip a U-turn, drive right back to that distributor, and I opened up the president's door, and the secretary was trying to stop me, and I was livid. I was literally livid because I am paying a fortune more for American-made NSF-44 certified resin, and here's a distributor who's making an extra, at that time, probably $150 per unit, maybe $200 per unit more. That was years ago. And I'm like, you son of a gun. I go, what are you doing to me? And he's like, I'm sorry. And wouldn't you know it, our company, he didn't just do it that one time. We found out because we had many more service calls because low quality Chinese resin doesn't last very long. Ding, ding, ding. We experienced that. We had bought stuff from them. It was close to a year. So here I am telling my clients, hi, I'm buying an NSF, you're going to get an NSF-44 certified product that's all American made. And that guy lied to me. So when we had problems like this filter material getting through everyone's house or the filter material going bad early, my company, the people that work with me, we were all beside ourselves. Needless to say, we had to make it up with the clients. We had to take care of them. But it was just, it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. Again, because what happens is the American consumer is always demanding something cheaper. And so Chuck in the truck and Tom's water treatment, everyone else is going to the distributor saying, we want it cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. So he just starts making it cheaper. And then he's got that incentive to cheapen the products, even to good customers like Angel Water. Now, we learned a lesson, so we had to go on a hunt. And what did we do? We uncovered EcoWater. EcoWater is a professional grade product. It is more expensive, but they do, and I'm going to show it to you right now. I'm going to hopefully show you exactly what they do. You can see right here, they actually put their badge in there, a serial number, so that you can literally see exactly the serial number, the model number, everything that we tell you that you're getting from us is documented, stamped on the system, and you as a consumer, if you decide for some reason, God forbid, you don't want to deal with Angel Water anymore, you can actually deal directly with the manufacturer, who is owned by a large corporation, right? Warren Buffett owns the company. So here he owns one of the largest manufacturing plants in the world. It's based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. They manufacture products in different parts of all over America. And it's there that they put on these serial numbers so you, the consumer, can always call them should someone let you down. Now, Angel Water will never let you down. We've been around for 50 years and you have my backing on it. But let's just say something happens, right? You can always go back to the manufacturer who literally had that product certified by NSF. They are ISO 9001 certified, and that they have a true facility that you could literally drive to. And Mississippi is the one that makes that unit there. You can go to Minnesota. You can knock on their door, open the front door, and you can talk to them, where most of these OEMs, they keep themselves quiet. Why? Because they don't put their name and their address on a brochure that they show you, that the dealer shows you. The dealer puts it on there. And if you notice on the brochure, buyer's tip, pro tip, if the website or the brochure doesn't give you a true address of where you can go, where you can Google map it and literally see how big is this place, then they're not willing to stand behind the product. Maybe it's a guy in his garage. I mean, we deal with that all the time. There's some big distributors out there that are all over the internet with really great ads, and yet they were started in the garage. Right now, they're in a dirty old warehouse. And you look at their website, it looks all clean and beautiful, and they have great reviews because they manufacture them. And you want to believe that this is the right thing to do. So, again, if you want to get educated, start with your water testing. Go to the NSF or EWG.org website. Understand the toxins that are in your water. Then you demand, and also find out what minerals are in the water. Then you demand by the provider that you're going to spend money with, you say to them, I want something that's NSF 58 certified for drinking water. I think drinking water is one of the most important. That's reverse osmosis. That's where it's certified to take out those toxins. Or a whole home system that's NSF 44 certified. Two of the most important test results you can ask for from the manufacturer. By the way, EcoWater's RO is also NSF 401 certified. What does that mean to you? It means that it is also certified for emerging contaminants like forever chemicals, PFOAs, PFASs. It's certified for, microplastics that are in the water. I mean, today they're saying that the scientists are saying there's a teaspoon of plastics in all of our brains because we wrap our food in plastic. We wrap our water in plastic. Plastic is in our straws, in our cups. It's like, oh my God, what are we doing? What I love about the EcoWater reverse osmosis system is it's NSF certified to also be BPA free. Oh my God, what? Can you imagine that you sell a system to a homeowner and they're going to have children drink the water and they buy BPA-free glasses that's mandated by the federal government, yet they fill it with a reverse osmosis system that's been made in China and is not even certified to be BPA-free? Oh my God, it's like that's one of the worst things that can happen in my book. So that's why doing homework is my job. Sitting down with you and educating you is also my job. And then it's your job to sit down and disseminate that information and say, what would you like to do? Do you want to buy cheap, cheap, cheap? Do you want to do research and get the best bang for your buck? EcoWater has a line of products like that. Or you get the very best. And you know you're going to get the very best and you're going to get the best water quality. Which, by the way, a lot of times clients buy the very best and we're actually able to show them that it costs them less than what they're currently spending in both soaps, cleaning supplies, lotions, hair care products. I mean, hair salon treatments, you know, for ladies who got to get deep conditioning treatments. People, they say that, you know, the calcium in the water, the rock in the water plugs the pores of the skin, which makes us go bald. I don't know if that's true. Again, I'm just sharing what people say. And then they say, oh my God, this has really helped out with my hairline. I don't know. You can go to our Google pages and you'll see these Google reviews. And I'm just simply honored to be able to look and read through them and understand that people truly are happy. And speaking of happiness, if you know anyone that could be happy by filtering their tap water, if you know anyone who maybe has eczema or dry, itchy skin, dry, brittle hair, maybe someone who's going to the hair salon every day, maybe someone that you love, that you care for, that could benefit from healthy water, please share this video with them. We would greatly appreciate it. Click like, maybe join our channel. We'd deeply appreciate that. I hope what I've done today is I've earned your belief or understanding that I'm passionate. You know, coming from my medical background, selling pharmaceuticals to this, I'm passionate about bringing you the education you need to decide what is the right water system for you and your family. And I hope you can go to nsf.org or ewg.org and do the research on the product that you're looking at right now. If you need help finding a good product, if you need a reference, check out our link. You know, our website is angelwater.com. Call us, 847-382-7800. We're here to help you maybe find the right company that you can buy a product and get it installed. It does take a plumber to install that. That's why we really don't do much online. We've had a lot of requests for that, so we probably start doing that soon. But in the interim, if you need a helping hand, always reach out to us because, you know, it's our honor, our privilege to be able to help you take care of your family and help you save money. To that end, my name is Drew, and I'm here simply to serve you.